Well, there's the camera mount set up, the HD GoPro, and what you have to do is you have to aim it by eyeball. The lens is part of the case, or part of the lens is part of the case, and the lens is replaceable. Looks like you pull off about 6 screws and replace it, but that's how it sits on the motorcycle. When the camera is on, this has just a little bit of shake to it. The fuel tank is curved, and the suction cup adheres to it nicely. It makes up for the curve, but it's also crowned, so the camera can roll back and forth in this direction, which it does. Also, the camera, at a certain harmonic of engine RPM, the camera will shudder a little bit, but the image stabilization seems to be able to keep track of all of that, keep that under control. But this is how it looks. Now, I mentioned that the lens is part of the case. You pop up that tab, then lift this up and open this. This is how you get to the camera. And here are the external connections. Unfortunately, there's no microphone. Here is where the SD card fits, and they say to use something that is 4 gigabytes per second or faster, and it just goes in and clicks. Easier said than done. Here we're looking through the camera housing with the camera out of it, and you can see that the black annular ring is indeed part of the lens, and it looks like it is a magnifier, because from my angle the speedometer is quite enlarged. Another interesting feature is the push buttons. There are 2 push buttons. You can see one at the very top of the camera. I'm going to try to bring it in just a little bit more. That is the shutter button, and then the one that is just to the right of the lens and above the little window is the mode button. It turns the camera off and on, and the shutter button starts and stops it. It's in a photo mode. There are several repeat options and other things like that that I have accidentally taken still pictures with it, and they're very nice, but they're you know, the whole thing was to get video. Okay, now I'm going to attempt to reposition the camera. Goes in, the little trap door comes up, and this little clasp fits over it, and it's got a little clamp here that goes past center and locks it into place. Of course, after doing all of that, then you have to re-aim it. So obviously, the first and last things you do. Now, for anyone that is concerned, it looks like that if you were in any kind of an accident or situation where the bike stopped suddenly and the rider did not, that would be kind of an imposing thing to hit. And the second thing I have thought about is if you're driving down the road and you Murphy's Law says it's time for the suction cup to turn loose, that would tumble helplessly out onto the roadway. So just a few things, probably some sort of a safety cable, so that if it does turn loose, it will at least stay attached to me. And on the accident, gadzooks. Almost anything can happen anywhere, so I may or may not worry about that. If I get a lot of comments saying that I should worry about it, I may. Otherwise, I'm going to try a few more videos. There are ways to attach that. That has a very interesting attaching mechanism. As you can see, the way the camera attaches to whatever holds it, a tripod mount or whatever, is a series of fingers, much like the finger miters you see in lumberyard decorative trim material. And so to hook that to a tripod, you have to get something that goes from the finger attach to a tripod, a 1/4 20 USS Imperial thread, not Imperial but American thread, and it that's how it holds. But also there are a number of ways that you can, number of pads, and instead of a suction cup there are some stick-on pads that will fit to your helmet. But unfortunately, to make the stick-on pads that fit to your helmet work correctly, you've got to hook up a lot of linkage, and I'm concerned about how it would look. There are certain things that you do and don't do as you're riding around Texas, and one of them is look too terribly much like a geek or something. Not that that would bother me, but might bother someone else. But nonetheless, it's quite a versatile camera. And in addition, if you've seen any of the videos, the Ninja has the stock windscreen on it. There is the stock windscreen, and the stock windscreen is tinted. I once flew a small airplane with a tinted windshield, and I got rid of that after I made a landing right about dusk, and it a little bit too much sunshade. I know that the smoked windscreen looks better than anything else, but going to be the way I'm set up is I do a lot of video right through it, and I just soon have a clear one out there so that everyone can see pretty much what I see. So talk to you later.